It's the UPX Podcast, baby. Glad you tuned in. Got your host, ThankMeLater, and Too Stupid to Win. Might be coming up session as soon as you begin. Start out king of the street, then lock in iconic in. Welcome to Upland. Grab your UPX, man. On your way, and the dough hit you with $4,000. Get to buying and gripping, then to selling and flipping. Over to moving and shucking. I'm Scrooge McDuckin in UPX.
To the Upland Property Experts Podcast, episode 135. I am your host, Too Stupid to Win, and get ready for a train wreck episode, potentially. And I got ThankMeLater. Well, okay, so before I even get you in there, ThankMeLater, my wife is gone. Usually on Thursday nights, she takes care of the extra back scratches, the extra story time. The 3-year-old's like, Mommy, I can't do it. And she comes running out 30 seconds after you put her in bed. So my wife's gone. So this could be a potential train wreck of an episode with little kids just popping in.
No, I mean, that sounds fun.
Fun for you.
Oh, yeah. No, super entertaining for me. That sounds annoying as hell for you. But, I'm not going to ruin my night because you made poor life decisions.
I make great life decisions.
I mean, you made at least 4 bad ones. Sorry.
Jesus, dude. Wow. Yeah, you see, train wreck. Here it comes. I might open a window so we can hear some of them roll through here.
Yeah.
Jesus.
For those of you who don't know, Too Stupid to Win has 4 children. That's what we were referencing.
Anyway. As long as the kids don't interrupt the show, we're going to have a wonderful episode. I'm excited for it. We have Russell Envy here. So back-to-back weeks, we have some good treasure hunters out there to share their tips and share their stories. So I'm excited to have him on the show. We have the secondary market breakdown. And, man, Twitter got a little upset with us this week. We'll get into that, too. And I think Upland was bored on Monday because they just decided to release a whole bunch of information like, I'm bored. It's Monday. What should we do? Release an article. Another one.
It almost seems like they have like a bunch of teams that are just kind of like doing their own thing. And then like they don't really coordinate. And they're just like, oh, cool. Push to prod. Oh, you guys did a push to prod? We did a push to prod. Oh, we did a thing? You did a thing. Cool. Like what? What happened here?
Yeah. No. So a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff to cover, and I'm excited for that episode. And still trying to work out this whole Vegas trip thing. Now it looks like even more complications in the wonderful life of Too Stupid to Win. So if I do come out, I'll fly out that morning and fly out, like catch the last flight out that evening at like 11:54 that night. So I'm dedicated. I'm trying to make it happen.
No, I know, and it's hard because like the closer we get, the more exciting and the more pumped. At least Dizzy and I are super pumped, and there's a bunch of people going to be there. So, and if we haven't mentioned, we are nominated for Broadcast of the Year. So that is super cool. So
my wife told me we're not going to win it.
You know what? I take back in private chat. Because somebody was saying that he made 5 bad decisions, and I was saying, no. The wife was a good decision. She's awesome. You know what? 5 bad decisions it is. What?
Well, I asked. I said
we're not going to win.
I said
we're going to win.
I said, why aren't we going to win? She's like, because you're too stupid to win. I was like, you got me.
Well, you won't
got
be
me.
There, so
that's what I said. I won't be there. So ThankMeLater can win on our behalf.
Yeah.
Except on our behalf. No, but Loyal Doyle, he's got the Upland show. He does a good show, a lot of good videos, and then Uplandos in the cafe. A lot of new players learn a lot from the Uplando show. So, solid competition there. Good luck to whoever wins that one.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a field of good competitors. But I mean, we should win. I mean, I'm probably a little biased.
I'm biased too,
but I don't know. And our seven listeners are hopefully definitely biased.
Yeah. All righty. So, without any further ado, Hey, how's the wiki going? I
Yeah, I
forgot to
need to
mention
get
that
back
last week.
on it.
How's the wiki
I
going?
need to. I've been working on some other projects, the Encino Eye and some other stuff. So I haven't had time to jump as much on the wiki. I got to check that this weekend. That'll probably be one of my weekend activities is to go do some follow up on that. Also working on, getting us some numbers and stuff as well. So working with trying to find some other people to provide more numbers and more insights for us.
I like how your dog can squeak its toy and you do it with a straight face.
Yeah. Because I just got back. I've been traveling all week, so I just got back in Dallas like an hour and a half ago. So he is like going nuts, wanting my attention because I've been gone. I was in Baltimore all week with a client, and so he is absolutely like just like, please, Daddy, give me attention. And so, yeah.
And your woman's got to love it too. Hey, babe, I'm home, and onto the podcast I go.
She, that was an awkward because she's like, "Oh, are you gonna shower?" And I was like, "I don't know." I was debating on if I'm gonna shower now or after the podcast, and like you could just see her face just like shrivel up, like, "That's right, that's tonight." And I was like, "Oh fuck, all right, well, yep."
Well, if we ever have a big meetup, our significant others can just talk about how much they hate Thursday nights together and get trashed.
There you go. We need a support group.
Yes, our significant other support group. But without we'll get right on to it. And as I said in the intro to the show, we do at Upland Property Experts do like to bring on people from the community, introduce you to players that you might not know, other content creators that are out there. Another excellent treasure hunter coming on to share their secrets. We've talked back and forth on Twitter for a few months now, so I'm very excited to bring Russell Envy onto the podcast. How are we doing this evening, Russell?
I am fantastic. Thank you very much. Hey, look at that. I love it. I love it.
I love that you have the UPX Podcast 2021 Block Explorer up right now with your director status.
I just switched it back over because I'm very superstitious when it comes to Spark Week. So I have my turkey up. Also, people fear the turkey. Don't get me wrong, but for the last 2 weeks and probably right after Spark Week, I'll put the UPX podcast back up. And fun fact, that was the very first Block Explorer that I paid for when I joined the game.
Wow!
Oh, wow, nice. I'm jealous because I don't have one. Did you ever get one?
Fun fact, I don't think either one of us has one.
And people ask us to pay a lot of money for it too. It's like, what about the hometown discount?
Yeah.
Right.
How many? There's only like how many of those?
25, I think.
25. Jeez.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was a low mint. And then I do love that you got a little box full of Spark.
Yeah. So, that's one of the things that I do is I often change up my shirt. So when I first started with Upland, I had the giraffe, and then I had the dinosaur pinatas, and then I had the unicorn. And then when Spark dropped on my birthday, October 6th was when October 6th, 2021 is when you could officially start finding Spark in standard, limited, and exclusive tiers. And so from there, I know how to view the page source, grab the image, and then I've just been using that in all my screenshots or anywhere that I can. And I've been trying to get my catchphrase, "Get your Spark on." I've been trying to get that going. And so, definitely like the Spark definitely helps. And so I'm from Nevada, and that's why the silver box is first, because it's the silver state.
Oh.
Nice. I like that. And I like those screenshots that you take of all your winnings. Every time you win a treasure, you take a screenshot of it too. That you got a lot of people doing that now.
It is something that I thought was pretty cool. So I definitely want to talk about the reason why I started doing that. But it's one of those things where, I started treasure hunting, and then every time I got a bigger treasure, like I couldn't believe it. So I started, screenshotting, and then I started putting them in a photo album. And then for my 1 year anniversary, I started going scrolling back through the actual Google Photos that I have. And I was like, dang, this would actually be a cool little segment for, one of my videos to be like, check out all this stuff. And, in some of my videos, I talk about my highest treasure that I've won, or, I had a couple 80,000s back to back. That was my biggest at the time. There was a time where 12,000 UPX was my biggest treasure. And I was just as pumped for that as, my highest, so
That's awesome.
it's definitely cool to roll back through memory lane that way. I definitely don't have 4,000 treasures like June does. That's for sure. But I'm slowly catching up.
Yeah, what's your number at right now?
I do not know how many that I have. I do have a player that I talk to very often. He hunts in San Francisco as well. I think he might be able to pull that data from me. Or doesn't UPX Land? Shout out to UPX
What
Land.
are you talking about? Just go to it's in the game.
It's in the game? Okay, hang
Yeah.
on. Okay, where do I go?
You just go to the
leaderboard.
The leaderboards.
Leaderboards. All right, and then what is it? Treasures.
You just go all time, and then it'll show your number and where you are.
Is it treasure claimed?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then I see today. Where do you change it to all time?
You think isn't there a drop?
Oh, all time. There it is.
There you
Okay. So now that I see it, well, how come it won't show me? It shows.
It should show you right at the top.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry, that data took a minute. I'm at 719. 719 is how many I have.
Does it say what rank you are?
Number 42.
Wow. Dude, top 50 all time. There you go. That's
I've been playing for
legit.
just about over a year, so top 50, I'll take it. That's awesome.
Top 50 all time. There you go.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you've been playing just about a year. Did you jump right into treasure hunting, or is it was something that you kind of took a while to get into?
So I have a video on my YouTube channel, and it's celebrating my 1 year anniversary in the Metaverse, and so I do talk about that. But I'll give you the top highlights, which is very much like K Twice. I had no idea what I was doing, and I started in Fresno, and once I found out that I could buy FSA property and FSA property was available, anytime something said 880 UPX or 1200 UPX or lower, I was basically buying it, and I was treasure hunting in Fresno to make my way and do that. I didn't know how to flip properties. I didn't know how to do that, but I started figuring out how to treasure hunt. And then I saw a video, an older video on YouTube that showed how to do some of these things. And that's when I kind of started getting into treasure hunting. And once I figured out what worked best for me, what my method was. And really my method is I don't care what it costs to win the treasure. I'm going to save UPX collecting sends. So that's what I started doing. So,
I would again.
So when I treasure hunt, I competitive or whether it's a standard, I'm to the point now to where I don't care. I'm not fazed by 125 UPX when I land on the property, at a time that was where I was only winning
so the visitor fee.
Yeah. The actual send fee to go and get the treasure, I used to land on somebody's and I used to go whoa, that's got 80 UPX and this Fresno treasure is going to be 65. I've already given away this treasure and I haven't even found it yet. So there was definitely a time when I did that. So, like I nickel and dimed my way with standards, and I started doing, 5 UPX in Fresno, and then you would do that, and then you'd win your 65. But then one day I stumbled upon 2 paper airplanes that were right next to each other, right? 2 sends that were basically on top of each other. So I sent my Explorer there. I spent 5 UPX, and then I collected 5 sends.
Okay.
So I basically paid 1 UPX per send that I collected.
Okay.
And then I thought, wow, that is how you do it. That is how you, even if you're on a nickel and dime budget, you're only winning 85, 95, UPX. I'm saving money by every single time that I find sends that are next to each other, or at least close enough to where your Explorer can go between them and you can collect like both of the sends. That there's like a small window that you can discover over time. But so basically, once I started that and I started seeing how profitable it was, I went to San Francisco because that was the only other city that you could go to. I didn't have the money to fly to Manhattan. I definitely didn't have the money to go to Manhattan. So I went to San Francisco, didn't own a property, and I just started winning exclusives. And at that time, like exclusives were... Riot mode really wasn't a thing. So the biggest exclusive I hit was like 1,130 UPX, or, every once in a while I'd get like 3,025 UPX, and, but that was so much more than Fresno. So it was worth it to me. So like once I found my profitable method to making treasure hunting work for me, that is when I started just getting really serious into like treasure hunting. And like there's still players to this day that when I see, like when you bring up the actual treasure screen and it shows you who's hunting and like you see those names, there's a few people to this day that I see their name and I still question whether if I should like even go for this or not. Like, so I'm pretty sure like I've been accused of so many things, but I am still such that real player that like I see June's name, or I see Nitrous 789, or I see Dagsy, and I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till they cool down. Like that's what
they're on cooldown.
Yeah, look, I will wait the 6 hours so Dagsy can't win again. Like I'm cool with it, like.
That's too funny.
But so that's basically, like that's all that there was really to do in the game. You could either. Like I didn't have money to go do a lot of things in San Francisco, and I don't put money into the game. Like I didn't have a budget to put money into the game, and I started researching how to, make things profitable. And then once I started seeing that I was actually winning dollars, like you go and you win 87 UPX, that's basically 8 cents that you're winning. And, don't get me wrong, that's great, but it's nothing like when you go to San Francisco and you hit a piñata and it says $7 and you're like, that's like Fresno for a year, like in one treasure hunt. So once I was there, just like I've stuck with San Francisco. It's been so good to me. Like 98% of all of my treasures have been in San Francisco.
Wow, that's interesting. And how many properties do you own in San Francisco now?
So currently, hang on, let's see. When I zoom out, I see. All right. So I just started buying new properties. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21,
25.
22, 23, 24, 25. Yes, sir. I have 25 as of right now.
There's an app for that.
Oh man, yeah. Apple's gonna hit your guys' podcast. Oh no. All right. So yeah, 25, and like if you go and actually bring up what I have in UPX land, that is all paid for by treasure hunting. Everything that you see there, I have not put money into the game. I have not done things other than buying the UPX 2021 podcast Block Explorer. I bought the tea bag, and then I bought the what was the other one? The
turtle. You did not get all three. You got all three?
Yes, sir. I have the turtle. So I do have the turtle. I have the tea bag that has the TD, and then it has the green
complete set.
How much for the complete set?
USD or UPX? Name your price.
Over my dead body, just like you said when it comes with the what is it, the Genesis Week Block Explorer that you're gonna get from going to Genesis Week. Not for sale.
I'll give you 1,000 USD.
Now you're speaking my language. That's not bad.
Wow,
That's not
look at how quick that went from over my dead body to wait a second. My soul does have a price.
So actually, so if I go to my Block Explorer, so my tea bag, I have mint 32 of 50. And then let's go to my turtle. My turtle, I have 37 of 50. And then for my UPX Podcast 2021, I have 25 of 25.
What? Oh, you got the closer, man.
I've got the closer, and it's got a cool little checker flag next to it. So that one might cost you a little bit more, but but I actually do. It was something where
that's so lucky. Like that is that's probably one of the rarer collections, honestly. To have completed.
I sure hope so, and I always saw Block Explorers as, avatars, whatever your character in game, whether we're talking Final Fantasy, we're talking WoW, we're talking, any RPC, any PPG game, whatever it is, your avatar is always something.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Teabag was too good to pass up. I couldn't believe that Teabag was actually something in the game. And I was like, this is great. I grew up in Nevada, which is definitely, a tourist city. And it's definitely where you can do a lot of things that you probably shouldn't do. But so definitely when I see things like that, I have to have them. But on that occasion, I bought all three of those that were in the store that day. And, they were... Again, I put $25-$30, whatever they were, it wasn't thousands upon thousands.
No.
I bought those, and then everything else that I have, if it's not a Block Explorer, I paid USD for all my Block Explorers, but everything else that I have in my account, and including all of my Spark, which we'll get to my total because I know that you guys have been doing, but all of my Spark, everything has been paid for through treasure hunting.
That's so cool, man. Yeah. Well, hopefully this year we're going to be in talks, but I think we'll have another round, probably another golden microphone to top it off. But then I think our two, we have to finalize it. But the Dizzy Deuce.
The Dizzy Deuce and the Franklin Bomb is what we're hoping to get out.
Yeah. So some like the Thinker Man on the toilet holding his phone. And then just like a big...
No, you got to get the Thinker Man on the toilet holding the spark globe. That's what you need.
No, that's not...
But that's not the Dizzy Deuce.
The Dizzy
okay.
No, because there's like the Urban Dictionary. So those are two terms used for the podcast. So the Dizzy Deuce is when you wake up in the morning, you're going to the bathroom, and you're collecting your UPX. So
okay.
Yeah, so that's named after our.
Add me to that club.
yeah, exactly. So you got the Dizzy Deuce, and then you got the Franklin Bomb, named after the Franklin 2G, and obviously F bomb. So like a big atom bomb with just a big F on it, be like Franklin Bomb. I always
like the artwork from the old World War I, World War II planes where it's got like a bomb, and it's got like the super smoking hot chick riding the bomb all the way down. So that's actually I've been toying. I don't have a custom Block Explorer yet, and I've been toying around like what I want. So that's actually something that I've been thinking about, was getting like the like a bomb that's being dropped. It's like a spark bomb with like me riding it, like going down or something. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be pretty dope.
Nice. So you listened to last week's episode with June.
Junior.
Right. Did you what were your expectations when you first started watching, and then what did you think about as the episode continued and June talked about his strategies?
We share very similar strategies, and June was actually the second player that I reached out to on Discord. Smuckus was the first. I thought Smuckus was a bot 100% for sure, and I was like, look, this player kicks my tail up and down San Francisco, like that's another player that when I see his name pop up, I'm like, I'm sitting out. I'm good, guys. Like, I'm definitely JV when that squad comes on, like that's for sure. But so I reached out to June and I was just like, hey, like you're a very good hunter, and like I look up to you, and like literally the message back was, you are a great hunter too, and like I kind of question whether I'm gonna play when I see your name too. And I thought, wow, really? And like I've had several of those where like I've written people that I admire or that I fear, flip a coin. It's one of the two. But, it's like they also say like the same thing. So I think we kind of have that mutual respect where, like we have the same strategy. June is very fortunate that he has a newborn. And so he's going to be up at all times of the night. My kids are 4 and 3. So I didn't have Upland during that time, but I was playing a game around that time, but definitely not Upland, but, I'm super jealous of that, but my insomnia kind of makes up for that. But so, my expectations was just, you always think there's always that thing in the back of your head, like, nah, that player's a bot. It has to be a bot. Like
Right.
every 3 hours, almost like every beck and call, he just snaps off and wins. You know what I mean? It's like once I saw a video and I was able to put a voice to a face and like I heard him out, I was like, I relate to everything that he said. I do the same thing, and he doesn't win them all. And I was actually asking questions to the TV. Like I wanted to interview him. So like I would pause the UPX podcast and like I'd pretend to interview June and then like I'd let him say whatever he had to say. But like I definitely have millions of questions that I wish I could ask him on a format like this. But I thought it was a very good episode.
Well, he listens. What would you ask him? And we can certainly convey it. And you know what? We could even I don't we have round tables too.
See, that's a good thing.
So I think I was looking for a second topic for next. So we're going to do Block Explorer pricing was one of our topics.
Yeah.
But honestly, we can do treasure hunting, Block Explorer pricing, and treasure hunting. Confirmed.
I love it.
For the next roundtable. We'll get you. We'll see if June's there. Any other people, and maybe some new people who are just getting in. But what questions would you have?
Like my biggest thing is I want to know like how he transitioned or like I want to know his method, because like I have a video on YouTube. It's a 2-hour treasure hunting for beginners video, and I get people fear that when they're like, dude, 2 hours, that's like two-thirds of Titanic. But I mean, if you want to learn my method, it's 3 hours long. So
I was just like, it's such an obscure, okay.
Just a Titanic reference.
Yeah.
Top of the world. All right. So, but so like, for me, I don't send to my properties, period. Like when I'm treasure hunting, I don't send to my properties because 9 out of 10 times the treasure ain't on my property. And I know that ain't a word, but I'm going to use it anyways. So when I start, right, so I actually show you this. If you go and you watch two things, is in that video, I win a treasure in 3 cents in San Francisco. It's a exclusive, and it's like in 35 seconds. And that was back in December or like November of last year, before 30-second treasures were a thing. Like we were still seeing minute and a halves, and like every once in a while you get somebody who gets like their tails on the treasure, or like they're right next door to it and stuff like that. But I mean, like consistently, I was knocking out 30-second treasures, before they were hip, so definitely.
Wow. You are the first person I've ever heard say that, because that sounds so counterintuitive to me.
So
Yeah.
So here's the thing is that I call it drop hunting. All right. So just like drop shipping, I call it drop hunting. So I start off, and I always start at the same property in San Francisco. Very, very much like Jun does. I started in the very
Is it at least your property?
It is my property, and the reason why the reason why I start on this property is because it's next to a bigger property. So when you start next to a bigger property and you touch on it, the camera zooms you out. So now I have less pinches to zoom out on my phone. I'm basically like if you're on a very small property, the game zooms in and like you can't see anything but the little square of that property. But if you are on a big honking property, the game's going to zoom you out. So now once you close that property card and you're going to the next thing, I'm already 2/3 of the way up to where I'm scrolling before I'm sending, right? So basically, like I start at the same property because of this size. And I also start in the center because I explained this in my treasure hunting video. But the San Francisco is an island, right? 2 or 3/4 of San Francisco
that's not true. San Francisco is not an island.
3/4 of San Francisco are surrounded by water.
That makes it a peninsula, by the way.
I'm calling it an island, peninsula, tomato.
No. You can't just be like
Alcatraz is an island.
Yeah, it's not an island.
Alcatraz is an island.
It's a peninsula.
Does anything south of the actual San Francisco border count? Like, I don't think so. So San Francisco as a city is on its own, all right? It's an island. But, okay. So 3/4 of San Francisco is surrounded by water. So when you start in the center, right, and you see that you have to send very far up, like that little treasure hunting arrow, you get like one little circle and it's showing you the distance, you know that you're going closer to the water. Or if it's really close, you know that you're going closer to where your property is. And if it's somewhere in the middle, you can guess where that is. So like I took most of the guesswork out of where I'm going, because when I see, hey, I'm going to the far left, I know that you can't send past the water. That is just fact. There is no.
Well, that's just because the game. It wouldn't matter. It's the fact that in Upland, San Francisco is relatively round and evenly spaced. It has no bearing that there's water there necessarily, because it's just because
you're confined.
But also
it's the parameters of the city. Because south of San Francisco is not water, but you don't have to worry about it. It's the same.
There's a very even line there, so that's another one of those things where, like, when you go to Manhattan, it's very easy in Manhattan to send over the water. Now you're in Brooklyn or now you're in Queens, and at the time those cities didn't exist, and so it was very easy in Manhattan where you would jump. And you would think that there's going to be property there, but you're out of the border in Upland where it is. So in San Francisco, that's not possible because you can't go anywhere else. There's no other landmass anywhere else. But when you look at Manhattan or when you look at Chicago, like unless you have properties in Chicago that draw that very westbound
why don't
thing,
you just put on the borders,
huh? Because that slows down your game. I don't play with that at all.
Okay, so let's clarify a couple things, because I missed the context of what you were trying to say. So first, you don't play with borders. So what you're saying is
I turn all the settings off.
Okay, so that's good to know.
So you turn off all the block explorers, all the 3D buildings.
So if you're following along, click the 3 little buttons at the bottom, and then you go to settings, and then there's marketplace markers, FSA markers, show other explorers, ownership celebrations, 3D objects, and enhance. I turn all those off.
Sure. No.
Do not care.
That makes sense. I didn't understand. I was like, everybody knows the shape. But I see what you're saying is if you're playing with no identifiers, then San Francisco makes it very easy to be like, it's surrounded by water, and then you can kind of guess, like you're not accidentally like zooming in and wasting your your movement. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. That's
but
Makes
then
sense
you
now. I
know,
was like-
but then you also know the distance, right? Like you know that if it's telling you up and to the left, and you have the one small little circle that isn't pulsing, you know that you're going farther to the water than you are to where you are. So if you're not starting in the middle, you're starting somewhere else. It could tell you that you have a long.
You can't start in the middle unless you're starting on my property. So
on what?
Unless you're starting on my property, you don't start in the middle.
So I need to thank you right now. I've been wanting to thank you for the past year. And so technically it has been later. So I'm allowed to thank you now because it's later. But, you are a big help because I used to start on some of your properties, definitely Laguna Honda, definitely sitting in some outer Sunset area, definitely
One
Pacific.
Christmas Tree Drive is the center of the map.
Sure. So I've never started from that property because I'm pretty sure that would ring a bell. But there's a lot of times where I've probably paid you a lot of money just from send fees and stuff like that.
And all my send fees are at the lowest legal limit.
I appreciate that. So are mine as well.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get people. Well, that's super cool. I like that.
But so like that is the biggest thing that I noticed, and that was for the longest time. That was a secret that I held to myself, is that San Francisco, like once you know the bottom border, which is basically where it says Daly City, like literally in the middle of where it says Daly and City, that there's that bottom line. Once you understand that, then like when it tells you that you got to go down and send to closer to the perimeter of the city, you're gonna have to get better over.
You play so differently than I think a lot of people, because I mean what you're saying, it sounds semi-intuitive, but also to me counter, because I would have been like, I need the border to kind of know where my city is, and what you're saying is borders,
it's memorized.
It's going to take up too much. It takes up more bandwidth.
It physically slows down the game if you have to have borders when you're trying to pinch, and like the game is trying to build those borders, and then it's trying to build the properties, and then it's trying to build all the green properties that are for sale, then it's trying to build all the monuments. Like I have a very good internet connection. I pay for 300 down and 30 up, so that I'm going to be on fiber pretty soon, so I'm pretty stoked about that. When I was in Las Vegas, I was at this place called the Innovation Center, and
which is where Genesis Week is.
Right. So, so the Innovation Center, I basically started there day one with a job that I had, like my day job. And we have meetups there, like WordPress meetups and stuff. Like I have a cot out back. I just stay there, for like 1 week a month. I basically live there. But so, that place, they have 1,000 down and it's like 100 up. I mean, like they've got a killer internet connection. So, I used to treasure hunt there anytime that I could.
Hear that? We're gonna be crushing it in Vegas. That's
on the city release.
You ain't got a chance.
So like over time, that's what I do. I try to notice subtle differences, or I try to, like look at something and do I need that? Like, have you ever seen that scene in Armageddon where they bring in Bruce Willis and team, and like they ripped off his drilling thing, and then like they just start throwing different parts off of it. He's like, what's this called? Like, I basically do that with Upland, so I don't turn on, I turn off all those settings. I don't have the property lines. It's all I would turn off my properties, the little blue dot indicators, if I could. That should be a hack for hackathon for sure. But so that's just starting. But so like that's how I send. That's how I start. But so most people will tell you got to own a huge map. And, that's how they send. Not for me. So I basically zoom out, and then where I think in my head, like, I think it's going to be here. I zoom in there and I will touch whoever's property it is and I will just send to it. I don't care what the price is. I don't care. Like, I try not to send to green properties because the actual send icon is switched around. So I want to make sure that like even my muscle memory, I'm touching in the same part of the screen. Like I actually tweeted about this. If you're on a desktop and a property is for sale for USD, the actual send piece is in the more. You actually have to click the down button and then see the more, and then you can send there. So if you're hunting on a desktop and you land on a property for sale for USD and you want to send to it, and somebody is sending to the property above it and it's not for sale, that little send icon is the second little button there. But when you're on a property for sale in USD, it's the fifth one and it's in like the second row. So, like I also only specifically hunt on mobile because that's an advantage. No matter what you're on mobile, that little send icon is always in that front row. So that's why I only hunt there. But so I will specifically, like, we're starting in the center of San Francisco, and let's say it's up and to the left. So I pinch out, and then I think like, all right, it's going to be here, and I'll zoom in, and then I hit the first property I see. Big, small, weird shape, looks like a duck, looks like a turtle, don't care. Hit send, and then I hit that little chess piece, right? That's another thing that I never told anybody for a long time. You hit the chess piece, and you zoom in, you beat your block explorer to that property. Your little block explorer is still coming down, but when you hit the chess piece, you're already on that property, and I'm tapping already, and I can see where the next send is. I can see where it's telling me. So before it used to be this way. Now you have to wait for it to like settle, or you have to wait for it to be a small distance before you see that little arrow for the next place to go. But it used to be like you would send, and like mid send, while you hit that little chess piece and you zoom in, you could click on an outer property and then you can see where you're going. And so, like that's how I could do a treasure in like 4 sends, because I'm basically, by the time you do 2, I've done 4 because I'm zooming in, I'm zooming out, and like I'm starting higher than you are. Like, you're very zoomed into the map. I'm not zoomed into the map, even on mobile. So, I mean, like there's tons of things. Like that's why that video is super, super helpful to people understanding the mechanics of the game, because the mechanics is what is going to win. Like you can read distances and you can read things, but like, once you understand, like doing one hunt my way, you're never going to hunt however that you do ever again. Like that is for sure.
I mean, and again, I hope people, I mean, at least for me too.
I'm never sending to my properties, like,
so weird.
Rarely.
Yeah.
And then like literally, like as that little piece is coming down, I'm not touching the piece that I send to. I'm touching one of the properties to the side of it, because your block explorer has a small little area that, you can click 1, 2, 3, 4, like, sometimes 8 or 9 properties away, and it still tells you where the treasure directional, or it tells you got dinged or whatever. But so, the biggest thing is like some people will try to touch the property where they're sending to see the arrow. It's much easier to touch ones on the side or to the top or to the bottom, because then, when you touch that property, it zooms out and then you can see wherever the arrow is pointing. And, where when you touch on the property that you sent to, your block explorer is going to be on top of it. So like sometimes you actually have to close the property, open it a few times before you see that it's pointing down. Not me, because I'm touching this one over here to the side that I can see that it's pointing down. So there's tons of physical mechanics in the game that once you understand that, treasure hunting like really becomes this whole other different beast.
But
yeah,
that's the interesting thing.
You're playing a different game than everybody else.
Absolutely.
Legitimately. Like
absolutely. Now
and so like literally go to my YouTube channel and you can see it's a right before I collect like 5 or 7 piñatas. It's on my YouTube, or it's on my Twitter as well. But you can see it's an exclusive, and it starts with the 10-second countdown, and then it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, and you see me close. You see me touch the property that I start from all the time. Then you see me pinch out. you see me scroll to Outer Sunset, and I zoom in, and I touch a property right there, and then I zoom out, and like you don't even see the arrow. I have to pause the video and show you where the arrow is. It's one of those ones where my Explorer, but I caught it with just like the blink of an eye. I caught it, and then I scrolled down and I click this other property, and so basically 1, 2, I'm like on top of it, like it's deep red, and like the little arrows like this, and then I get very lucky and I just touch 1 and send, and like there's a dinosaur, and like 3 cents, 30 seconds, it's in that video. And so like if you think I'm a bot, go watch that video, and I promise you most of these people that you are considering a bot, they will not post a video like I do. But if you go follow me on Twitter, or if you follow me in the Upland Facebook or whatever, like, or you just follow me in the treasure hunting room on the Discord channel, I post so much, like I prove I am not a bot.
Well, for the record, you might not be like a bot in that sense, but I'm not sure you're human. Like, let's be very clear. I don't know how you pass CAPTCHA, honestly. I would be concerned about that.
Here's my question. For somebody that's into the mechanics so much and looking at the slight advantages, turning everything off, using a little chess piece, but that's an extra move to send to somebody else's property. That's an extra click to send to somebody else's property. It's a lot quicker to send to your property because...
No, it's not.
So wait, so walk us through like why do you like...
Is it possible for me to share my screen?
Yeah.
Sure.
Can I walk you through that here? So let's do screen share, open system preferences. Hold on, I have to allow this. Okay. So then let's do this
because
one.
From a gaming mechanic, it's definitely quicker to send to your own property.
Maybe.
Because that's not a blockchain. It doesn't register on a blockchain. So it's definitively quicker to send to your own property from a strict gaming mechanic. I can send to probably 2 of my own properties before you can send to 2 other properties. I can guarantee that.
Okay. All right. I can buy that for sure.
But I mean, you've optimized so much of the other things that like, and you've also shown like with not having any properties potentially in San Francisco, you can be competitive. You probably want one that's kind of close to the center, because you don't want to keep wasting that 1 cent, right? Like that's a guaranteed starting point.
Right. It's not going to let me screen share. Can maybe one of you screen share and I can like walk you through that?
Oh man, you're killing me.
Okay.
Hold on. No. Let's see. Screen share.
You know what? Do I have the Chrome browser? Hang on. I do. Maybe that's my okay, cool. So zoom out. Here, hang on. So can I go to play.upland?
We're going to San Fran?
Yeah, let's go to San Francisco. So Elizabeth, hold on. The address that I start off is this is a really easy one. This is 792 Elizabeth Street.
Okay.
There you go, right there.
Hold on, I'm clicking on my video, not my...
I gotcha.
Oh my gosh, I confused myself. Where's the... Odom. Oh my gosh. Oh, up here.
Save here. Okay, hang on.
Oh, here. No. Here. Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm going to be looking up. I'm putting it on my other screen so that way it's easier for me to see. Here.
Oh, it's telling me I got to check screen preference. Go here. Oh, I don't see Google Chrome. Yeah, okay. So 792 Elizabeth.
That's close. Here's the center for the map if you're curious.
But I literally want you to go to 792.
I don't want to go to that one. Look, right here.
Okay, so see how you're zoomed out right now?
Yeah.
So if you actually go click on a smaller property, so UP2 size, go click on a smaller property, look how much farther you zoom in. So see, you lose a lot of width right there. So, like if you were going to start, this is a good property to start from, but also, one of those.
I'm not in San Francisco. I can't even do, I can't even send anything. I'm not in San Francisco.
Oh man. Okay. So literally, okay. So zoom into one of your properties. Like one of the starter ones, right? All right. So
okay. I mean, this is the one when I hunt, I always start right.
Okay. So you're here, right? Okay. So
I'm going to take this off sale. I want to know I'm buying it. 10,000 is too cheap. Oh. All right. Well, if somebody buys it for 10,000 before I can up it to 100,000, then fine.
All good. Yeah. Okay. So
calling Abdullah.
So see that movement, see when you click on it and see how the game has to zoom. So I will actually try to pause the game. So click on the X and then try to click on the property. So there's no movement. So when I want you to bring up that card and there's literally zero zoom. So this is very much easier to do on a desk or on mobile than it is on desktop. But like, even then, see, like when you start and you have to wait for that, I'm not waiting for that little animation. So again, that gives me another 0.3 of a second, another 1/10 of a second of advantage because I'm already opening that card, seeing where the arrow is and zooming out. So then,
let's see, where am I? Because I can try what the heck? This isn't even a place. Where am I?
So, but the key there, and you said it very early on in this interview, is you found what worked best for you treasure hunting. You reached out to people, you talked to people, you asked them questions, you experimented, and you found out what works best for you and what is profitable for you. So I do like that. And that's what a lot of people need to take away is you got to figure out what works best for you. There just isn't one way to treasure hunt.
Yeah. So it is interesting though, because definitively sending to your own property is quicker. Like and it doesn't use a send. I guess it just depends. Do you find yourself running out of sends in a day?
I think Russell froze.
I think he's just so amazed by
I do not think he's so amazed by you.
No, that's not it. How do I? Oh, treasures here. Is there treasure hunt? Riot mode.
Ooh,
wow, there's 61 people here. Holy cow.
Look at that.
That's a lot of people hunting in wherever the heck I am.
Queens.
Queens. I think I only own one property. But yeah, so that's interesting because if you turn this off, like that's a valid point of like.
And then he gets the property markers gone. He gets all the markers gone.
Well, no, because like the border, because especially like this, like, is this two cities here? Or like, again, if you're in New York, like this can get confusing. So I like that. I mean, it's a weird concept. And I guess some of the other cities, that, if you don't know the border, because I mean, I almost always play with the borders on. But because, that would be hard. And that's the daily city that he's talking about, right? So that, so there's your daily city. So if we're saying, okay, it's more efficient to not have those on, like, that could be hard. Like if you didn't know the borders, but you kind of get this, again, please see San Francisco, not an island.
It's an island.
I get what he's saying.
But no, I mean, and again, I was like, I didn't understand like why that matters. But if you're playing without the borders on, like you kind of get a pre-built border, and then you just need to know like daily city at the bottom. Huh. That's really interesting.
Can you guys see what I'm? No, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Hold on. There we go. I got you now.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Now you got me. Okay, so hang on. Let's refresh this. Let's get me here. Okay, so let's zoom in here. Everybody can see exactly what. Come on. I don't know why this is literally. Come on, everybody, help me here. Oh, I finally got it streaming, and now it won't work. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, come on. Finally, okay, chess piece. There we go. So coming in, zoom out, coming high. All right, so let's turn off all these settings real quick. Okay, so like this. So let's specifically go to what I was talking about. So here is the property that I send to. This is 792 Elizabeth Street. So I send here. This is where I start every single time. Okay. So then I click here, turn on my treasure map. There's even a stealth going right now. But so I'm trying to limit this. So even this is too much for me right now. But so basically, like I'm watching and it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I click here. I see where the arrow is, right? And for the sake of this argument, let's say it's up and to the left. I'm zooming out. Now, look, I don't have any properties up and to the left, right? So I can't send to a property, but I'm going to drop here and whatever I zoom in, here's where I'm sending 100 UPX. Here's this person. Don't know. I'm hitting send anyways. And I'm literally trying to drop on top of where I think the treasure is. Again, like from where I'm starting, if I see that I have to go a huge distance, I'm probably sending somewhere along these borders, or if it's telling me up and to the left, I'm sending somewhere farther here. But you just kind of learn that as you hunt. But again, like I'm dropping here and then I'm hitting send. And then as my property or as my little block explorer comes here, like let's say this is the property I sent to, I'm going to click here because my block explorer is going to land here. But now this little arrow, the treasure hunting arrow, is going to be somewhere around this property. So that's why I don't click here, because my little block explorer is going to be on top of it and it's going to be covering where I'm going. So now, all right, so there's my first send. I send here and this is where I'm at. And now it's telling me left or it's telling me right. So then I zoom out a little bit, or if I'm close enough, I won't zoom out and I'll just scroll, and like I'll get here and all right, I think it's here. Again, 50 UPX. Do not care. I'm going to hit send. Here I am. And then, I'm either on top of it or I'm pretty close. And then, like if it's really pulsating red, you just have to touch one of these and the treasure's going to be here. You don't even have to send to it. Like you just have to be within the perimeter of the actual treasure and you can win it. Like, I think that's another thing that a lot of people think about is like you have to send to the exact place that it is, but that's just definitely not the case, So like literally I'm sending here, or like even like let's say we start my favorite property and it's telling me it's down here. I'm not clicking on any one of these at all. Like I said, I do not think that this property, I don't think the treasure is going to be anywhere close to these, because time has showed me that more than likely the treasure is going to be here. It's not going to be on my property. I know that that's one send, but the other thing that you got to think of right now, and this is why I think treasure hunting has got really competitive. There's only 11 people right now, but like, let's say there's 50 people, right? Like hunting. You got to imagine that all 50 people, they're all getting the same arrow you are. Now, whether they're farther or they're close or whatever, it's still pointing them to the same place. So do I think that I'm going to win by sending to this property and then sending here and then sending here? No, I need to get more lucky and I need to like land on top of the thing. So, like, let's just say for the sake of the argument that this is the property where the treasure's at. You're going to have 50 people within, this circle, this parameter right here. And then at that point, that's why it's a 2 or a 3 send win. Like I'm not getting lucky by sending to this property and then sending here and then triangulating between these three and finding where I am. I'm skipping all that and I'm just landing here. and sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes it's the best thing in the world. But, like for the sake of argument, that's exactly what I'm doing is I'm starting from the same property. I know those arrows. I know the distance. I know where I'm going, where I'm sending, how I'm getting there. But, I make a very good educated guess, I would say, on like where I'm going to land. And I'm trying to land within that proximity, and that's why I think we're seeing, stupid times where it's 30-second, two sends, 25 seconds, like not everybody's lucking out and they're just on top of it. But, once you start understanding the mechanics of like, even here, like if we start on my favorite property, this is the best example I could have is you start here. I see a huge screen of properties. Like, you see a pretty good distance here, but you start on this tiny little one here. Do you see the same amount of properties? You sure don't.
Whoa, hey, target it. That was my property.
See, so this is why I have to officially thank you because, these are all things that you've taught me that you're not even aware of. But so, like this property is one that I've never owned. I've never had.
Wait. So hold on. How about this? I want to give that property away. I want to give that property away to somebody listening right now.
Give it to me. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
What's that property? Go to that property.
This is
so that way you can be. I want to give somebody a chance to start. Because then you can go to the same place,
731 Douglas Street. That is it.
730. Let me just make sure I have other ones around it. Okay, I have some other ones around it. All right, so 731 Douglas Street. I'm gonna set. I'm gonna set the offer stupid low. Whoever first person watching to make an offer on that property, and if your name is Dizzy or MindX or TM
Russell
or Franklin or Russell, sorry, you're not qualified. But if not, and wow, that's got a lot of visitors too. Anyway, so there you go. Because that way now you can start the Russell, style. Because again, what I really appreciate about your style is you don't have to own. That's it. One starter property. There you go. And now you can be what you're telling me is you can be as successful as you are at treasure hunting without owning another.
You don't even have to own a property. If you understand the send limits and you understand like how many you're collecting, or like if you get lucky enough and there's like a send somewhere around here, right? And like, you can start on this property, you can do it. But I mean, like I have another one up here, like around Clay, like any one of these large properties where this is a great one. Like see how far I'm zoomed out here. Like thank you, Lou Daddy, for sure. But like this is a great one too. Like you just want to start. Even this right here is a great property. You see more properties here than you do zoomed in here. So I mean, like
that's a big tip, honestly.
But like what it does is, like hopefully that anybody watching or anybody that's out there like wondering, how can you see these profiles? Like that's why I think some of these accounts are multi-accounts, because they have 0 wins, but like they're still winning in 20-30 seconds. Like they're doing stuff like that. You do not need to own a property in any city, but if you know where to start, or if you have your other profile there and like you do start from the same place, you're going to start there and you're still going to win. But I didn't have a property to my name when I started in San Francisco. And over time, I just, started stringing along exclusive. There was a time where I only hunted exclusives. Limited did not appease me at all. Like I needed cash. I wanted to win. And so like, I still do to this day. I haven't hunted a limited probably in like, 8, 9, 10 months. every once in a while I'll try to get lucky and I'll try to get like a riot mode spark box or something. But for the most part, I am strictly exclusives. I'm strictly stealth. But, you know, like I am not sending to my property. So when people tell you, you have to have it, you know, Junjun's winning in LA because he's got a crazy treasure map. Like I guarantee you that he's not sending, or that's a question that I actually want to ask him. Are you sending? Is he, you know, I know he sends to an area, but then like, again, you're going to send to that property. Is that the winning property? No.
Well, no,
so I'm literally trying to like throw a dart or pin a tail on a donkey and like try to like drop on where I think the treasure is going to be.
Yeah. So I think most players have a web so that your first, because let's say you need 3 sends. Let's say on average you do 3 sends. The goal would be that your first one is always to your own property. And then your second, depending on how detailed your web is either to your own property or not. So second and third aren't, but I think the goal is to have enough where you can hit your first jump in any major direction to your own property.
So see, like when I start here and like when it shows me I'm going to be in the outer sunset or something, I usually send here. Like I usually land somewhere here, and you can see I don't own a property here, but you know, like I know that it's going to be like the property is going to be somewhere in here.
So but like, why? So knowing that, so Russell, if you know that, then why wouldn't you try and buy a property there? Because then you're going to save a send, and again, it is definitively quicker to send to your own property than to send, because there's no chain checking. There's no transaction being processed when you send to your own.
I'm not worried about the transaction fee, and
it's not the fee; it's the time.
No, it's the time for it to process.
For me, it's easier for me to zoom out, and then I do one big zoom, and like I'm here instead of like trying to touch my finger and land here and let this come up. And again, it's not going to be on my property. And so I actually had a property over here on 33rd Street for a while. And I was, you know, like I did try to do that. For me, it's not for me, you know.
So what you're saying is the trade-off of zooming in and then needing that extra fraction of a second to precision select your own property.
That's it.
That essentially negates versus just brute force, because then you can just select any property. You're not caring about it and you're sending. So it might not be the actual send process might not be as efficient, but you are saving that half a second by just brute zoom.
And I'm hoping, you know, like most of the time, I'm hoping to be closer than you are. You know, your property again isn't going to be where the treasure is, even if it's somewhere close. It's not here, and I'm trying to land closer to where I think it actually is, and like that's the game that I play, is that I'm trying to drop on it, or I'm trying to like literally land somewhere close to it instead of sending property. Now, like when I do stealth hunts, I only send to my properties. And then like after I've done all of my properties and I still don't have this, nobody's collected it, then I'll start guessing outside my little ring. So on stealth hunts, I'm the opposite. I only send to those. But you know, when you're looking at 15, 16, 17 second times, you know, you're going to spend 8-9 seconds trying to either touch that little one and zoom in, and then like you know, you own that tiny little property, you don't own that big one, and it's easier to hit that big property and send to it than it is to zoom in and precision touch your property and send to it. So yeah, you know, like I think that there is a bigger advantage just sending to somebody else's property versus trying to send to your own, you know. And I definitely understand anybody who doesn't have the funds or you know, like they're still counting UPX or pennies or however you want to call it. So I definitely sympathize with people like that. But for me, I'm literally landing where I think the treasure is. And then I'm also assuming, you know, like let's say I land here, right? So here's me, here's Dagsy, here's Nitrous, here's June, like, you know, we're all landing within the, and then it really becomes who threw the dart closest to the center of the dartboard. And really, I mean, like, that's how you get, like, I get danged a lot. You know, I get like, dang, I will physically see the draft, and then I have it muscle memory too, to where, like, as soon as I see that thing pop, I'm touching like that part of the screen. So I touch the actual button to claim the treasure, and I'm still pretty quick at that, and I still get danged. So, I mean, you know, like, I get beat because, you know, like, somebody started closer, or somebody is, you know, like they were closer to the actual end place. But 9 out of 10 times, I'm almost dropping on top of it. It's very rare that I'm not, like, I'm dropping somewhere and I'm farther than I was when I started. You know, like, I'm pretty good, like, within that distance, and that's all part of, like, you know, looking at San Francisco as a whole. And when you start in the center, you know, you're not sending past this parameter. You're not sending past the top here, unless we're actually talking about Kitten Island, right? I think it's actually up here. I have one in exclusive in one of these properties up here where this has actually been a treasure. But, like, it's never really going to be up there. It's usually going to be in the city somewhere, you know? So,
Yeah.
But so,
all right,
you know.
I'm cutting you out. Let's see here. You're at 7 offers.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's see what we got. Adam B, you missed.
He was the last one.
The X-Queen, sorry. Ulysses, sorry. Like Cake, sorry. Reconnaissance, sorry. Franklin, I would not have given it to you. No. Oh, XZX Outlaws. Accept. I think that's a yes.
Congratulations. I love it. I love it.
All right. So Outlaw, my ask is use that. Go check out Russell's video, or, you know, just take what you've learned here. I want to also invite you to the round table that we're going to have.
Ooh, I love it.
I would love to hear your experience. So I hope that you take it, do some treasure hunting, and we'll get your feedback at the round table. You can come, maybe ask some tips, tricks, things that you struggle with. Thank you for all that participated. I hope that that helps you out.
Now, that's my next question, though. On one of our YouTube videos, Outlaw did leave a message saying that you're a knob. So I wonder if he still thinks you're a knob.
Wait, who's a knob? Me?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
And you already, I watched you put in the code, my man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he said, ThankMeLater's a knob, and now you just hooked him up with that property. So I do. So is he still a knob?
I mean, hey, I might be a knob, but I'm a man of my word. A deal's a deal. Like, I ain't gonna.
You know, so, and like where I'm starting, you know, like, yes, that is not dead center. But for me, you know, like, I used to, the very first property that I had in San Francisco was actually Outer Sunset, and it was up towards like Judah and 26 or something like that. And a lot of the properties or a lot of the treasures were actually over in like Mission. They were over, you know, farther to the east. So when my Elizabeth property came up, I paid something very small for it too. What is it? I paid, I have it for sale. Hold on. I never want to sell it. So I paid 19,600 UPX is what I paid, $19. And that property alone has paid for itself time and time again. That is for sure, you know. But so for Spark Week, my strategy is completely different.
We'll have to get you back on a different time to go over your Spark Week strategy.
This is fascinating. I mean, I've enjoyed it, but yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait, so tell us, how much Spark do you have?
Yes.
Yeah. So currently, I am at. Hang on one second. I am at 12.56 Spark is what I have, and
wow.
So
$0 spent on it.
$0 spent on it. So my strategy is I hunt every single day. I try to participate in every exclusive or every rare that I can. I save my cents for that. But then 5 p.m. Pacific is when the send reset, and then you can go and collect your 80 cents again. So like
80? It's up to 80?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I need to update the wiki. I don't think it says that.
Yeah, I think tier 1s are 80, tier 2s are like 60. I think it's like
Somebody said that. I don't know how the hell they track that.
But so tier 1s are 80. But so like for me, I have a notification system that actually hits my phone and says, hey, a treasure's about to hunt. So like I used to sit here and I used to like every 5 seconds to see if a treasure's starting. Before we had UPX land, before we had anything to tell us, but now I have a notification system that will actually hit my phone that says, hey, there's a rare in San Francisco in 5 minutes. So then I'll stop what I'm doing. I'll stop playing with my kids, or like I'll come back and get on my Wi-Fi or whatever.
Stop playing with my kids.
Gotta
go. Where do I go to see my sends?
No. Like we actually, like when I win a treasure, I let them touch the piñata and like we do a treasure dance and stuff. Like they're totally into it. So like every time I win, they're into it. But like, so like I get notified and then like I'll go and win. But then where I was going with that is like when I know that 5 p.m. Pacific is coming and I have a 3-hour cooldown, I'm not going to win another treasure before that send reset. I will go and spend the rest of my sends and I will go and do standard hunts and I will just waste the rest of my 80 sends and I will go and try to mine. I call it mining spark, and like some days I'll come up with nothing. Some days I'll come up with 5, 6, 7 spark boxes. And, like especially early spark weeks, like I definitely took those for granted. Like I should have produced a lot more spark than I did in those weeks. But like every spark week, I'm producing at least 1.5, 1 3/4, something like that. I mean, and when I'm not doing that, I'm hoping that I'm landing on a riot mode exclusive or a riot mode rare, and I'm getting 0.2 or like 0.12. Like that's where all my spark comes from. Is like you don't know when you treasure hunt, are you getting UPX or are you getting spark? But for me, it's all welcome.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have 22 cents right now.
Wow. So you definitely did a tour and then never went and did the tour.
Yeah. You sign up for a tour and then take. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Russell, thank you so much. And, one of the biggest things, we definitely got some tips and tricks out of you. And one of the biggest things is you have to find out what treasure hunting method works best for you. It took you a while to find out what worked best for you and your style. I've never heard a style like yours before, but you've definitely proved it's successful. You're a top 50 treasure hunter. You've been playing for years. So,
and I teach it. If somebody else like Dagsy ain't showing you how he does it, like ain't no one teaching you that. Like,
you hear that, Dagsy? Come on to the podcast.
I'm still jealous of his 1 million UPX win. Like that was epic. I wasn't even around for that. I was in Chicago. So like once a week or every other week, I'll go kill it in San Francisco and I'll bring in, like 100,000 UPX or something like that. And then I go to Chicago and I'll spend the rest of my time like hunting for spark, So like I definitely have a weekly, monthly, yearly goal that I'm looking at. Like once I hit that $10 a day or $15 a day UPX prize, like I could win that one treasure. And then the rest of the day, I'm not hunting and I'm looking for spark, because for me, spark is a little bit more valuable, especially now at this point in the game, than, going and winning 9 or 10 treasures. Yes, I could go and pop off 9 or 10 treasures today, tomorrow, whatever it is. But I have a dollar amount, which is like $10 to $15 or 10,000 to 15,000 UPX. Once I hit that, I'm done hunting for the day. I spend the rest of my sends looking for spark, and like that's just a strategy you learn over time. And again, what works for you? What's more valuable? Do you need UPX so you can continue to spend and compete? Or, you saw my screen, I'm sitting at 610,000 UPX. That's one of the most I've ever held. I've never held 1 million UPX yet. I'm working on it. I will get there one day, but every single time that I get like a little bit of change to my name, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go look in San Francisco. Can I find a 50? Can I find a 60,000? Like, where's my next property? Can I get closer to the financial district without going to spend $800-900?
Right. No, but thank you so much for taking your time coming out on the show.
I
Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We'll definitely get you back on closer to a Spark week so you can break down your Spark treasure hunting for us. We'd really appreciate that. I did post your Twitter and your YouTube channel. Everybody definitely check it out. And then we'll see you back.
I have a Las Vegas prediction video coming out very soon. You know, I live there. I know a lot about it. I know I used to work in some of the casinos. I have a prediction video coming out pretty soon. Once they announce that Las Vegas is a city, I'll release it. I'm waiting until an official announce. But
I got 100,000 UPX bet going with somebody from Facebook.
It makes sense. Oh, yeah. I saw that. I saw like in the Upland me, you were like, care to put a wager on that or something like that?
Yeah. 100,000. If it's Miami or Vegas, I win. Any other city, they win.
Oh,
so
that's tough, man.
I'm hoping to make Vegas. I'm going to get in there early. I'm going to be like, Upland team. If it's not Vegas, you need to switch it. I got 100,000 UPX right now.
Well, when you get there, hopefully they let you mint the property in that city before they tell you what it is, because everybody's going to get a free property or something, right? So, hopefully you'll know before anybody else, and then you'll be able to back out. No, just kidding. You'll probably stick to that bet, but
I'll stick to. Again, man of my word.
You have to be in these days.
Your property, whatever.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate it. I definitely wanted to thank you, and it's been a year, so I can thank you later. That's for sure. Too stupid to win. Like trust me, I've probably said that a few times. I've probably treasure hunted. I beat myself more than other people beat me.
Right.
That's the biggest thing I want people to take away is I win a fair amount of treasure hunts, but I curse and I swear and I throw my phone up against my couch more than you probably know.
So the struggle's real for a top treasure hunter.
The struggle is real, man. Especially just when you see that pinata and you're like, man, this is a giraffe or this is a dinosaur, and you click it and it goes, dang, now I got to wait another 3.5 hours to get beat again.
Awesome. All right, Russell, we'll see you after the show. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, Russell.
All right. So Russell Envy, that was, I've never heard anybody treasure hunt like that. My mind's blown.
No. And I hope that helps. Cause you hear and you speculate and you want to hope that there's not bots, but you're like, how the heck are these people winning with no property, stuff like that? Well, there you go. That amount of precision, the amount of optimization, the amount of time and research and care and thought that is put into that kind of strategy is why these players are winning in 30 seconds consistently. It is not some bot. It is not some trick. It is literally they live and breathe treasure hunting, and they are going to a level of detail that, again, they're playing chess. We're playing checkers. We're not even playing the same game. It's insane.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. We have the top 5 city floors in Upland. The interesting thing with this is
these are fake numbers. These are garbage. Too stupid.
Absolutely.
One thing, come on.
Yeah, it's horrible. So we post every Tuesday. Also, we post on Twitter an update of the top 5 city floors. And for some reason this week, everybody just decided to let us have it.
They're not happy with you.
Either just on the post itself or in direct messages. And all this is the 5 most expensive cities in Upland and the cheapest property available at the time that this is put together. That's all it is. It's a starting point. It's a reference. We track from week to week for fun, and then we track every 30 days for fun. There's a lot more. This is a starting point.
It's not necessarily for fun. No. It's relevant data, but again, it's not this is not financial advice. We are not it's just a starting point of hey, a barometer. Yeah. Okay. It can be manipulated. We are working on enhancing these numbers. We hear you. We appreciate again. But this is just to have a conversation, to start the conversation. It still gives you a pretty darn good idea of where these cities are sitting, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that the cheapest property there is the best for you. You have to figure out your numbers and what works right for you. Just like in the real world, it could be, 1,000x property is the cheapest property, but then if you look a couple properties down, you got something for 200x, 300. It's a starting point to look at, and
Yeah.
And then from there, you can say, do I want it in this neighborhood? And you start digging into the details. You start digging into the median average, the median sale average, the price per up square, the neighborhood, how much it's developed. There's a lot of different factors that you can apply to buying properties. So really what we do here is we just show you the 5 most expensive cities and what it takes to buy into those cities. And we don't have to spend much time this week since we are already well into this, but the UPX floor is dropping. Same with the US dollar floor. Over the 30-day change, we're down also across the board, UPX and US dollars over the last 30 days, right around 10% on your UPX floor, and then your US dollar floor is ranging anywhere from
compared to the crypto market.
It's tracking.
90%.
Yeah.
How's Mana doing?
You mean Luna?
No, Mana.
Okay.
It's from. But actually, I read that Luna's up to $8 or down to $8. I don't know if $8 is good.
No, $8 it's way less than that.
No. I don't know if it just rallied or what.
Yeah, I didn't look. But for your bottom 5 city floors in Upland, Chicago actually dropped a lot. But that's kind of expected with the.
Never mind. I don't know. Ignore me. I don't know what the heck. I think I just saw a tweet. I didn't have any context. Yeah, you're right. Luna's like 0.00, like 4 zeros, 1. Is that correct?
0.001, 3 zeros and a 1. Yeah.
Oh, geez. It's nothing. Oh, so I don't. So okay. Ignore me. I don't know anything about crypto.
Yeah.
I'm just a gamer.
Yeah. So Chicago dropped, but that was kind of expected with the properties being revealed and the hidden gems being revealed. So that was kind of expected to see a drop there. Surprised with the Cleveland drop of 14%. Last week LA was 4, Staten Island was number 5. So interesting that there was a little volatility this week in the bottom 5 cities.
Yeah.
Everything's creeping up. Los Angeles is 65% sold out. Queens and Nashville 70%, and Detroit and Kansas City 77%. Detroit's up 2%. Queens is up 2% since last week. So
we should
track that.
Yeah, because I was like, these numbers look higher than they did last week, but I don't know. We could probably just put it next, up 2% or whatever.
Okay, I'll work on that for next week.
Yeah, because I love that. That's so cool.
So the hidden gems in Chicago, they dropped this week.
Yeah, this isn't the first time they've done a hidden gems drop, by the way. Because remember the San Fran hidden gems was freaking awesome.
Oh yeah, that was Alamo Square properties, huge properties were available out there. It was so much fun when they did that.
Yeah.
New York, you had the Marble Hill, but that was for the Ukraine relief. So this is the first one since the San Francisco Hidden Gems release. But Chicago had 27,000 locked properties. I thought that was a miscalculation, but it was legit. Now,
did they release all 27,000 in this?
I don't know.
And did they sell out? You
can still buy some properties in Chicago.
Oh, so Chicago. Do we need to add Chicago to the mint percent list?
I thought about it, but I figure it will be gone quick enough.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what the percent, is it 99.9% sold out? Or is it
I would imagine with as many properties that are there.
Okay. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Now, the interesting thing, though, is there were some ultra rares that were on the blockchain that were being released under the hidden gems, but they were not on the list that went out to everybody saying these are the properties coming out.
Oh, really?
Yes. That's that's a fundamental quality control. Hey, here's all the properties. Make sure these two lists match. This is what we push to the chain. This is what we're going to release to everybody. Make sure
So do
they
you think
match.
it was a mistake that it was missed in the communication, or that it was missed as in they shouldn't have been released?
They were at market value for ultra rares in Chicago, so they were priced right. It could go either way because I know Upland does like to do competitions for ultra rares. I know they like to do ultra rare giveaways, so I'm not really sure which side the mistake was on. And also Abdullah put 250 million UPX in for the hidden gems drop. He went ahead and bought out Greektown. There were multi-million dollar or multi-million UPX properties, and he just went on a minting spree. I wish I would have had it somewhere that I could have screen recorded it, because it was just like 2 million property, 3 million property, 4 million, just gobbling them up. It was about $189 million in property in Greektown that he bought up.
Holy crap.
Now, people were like, oh, the rich are just getting richer. Yeah, Greektown is a collection. Yes, Greektown, you do get a bonus, but he can only put 3 properties in it. All the other properties are not in other people's hands. So in a way, the rich aren't getting richer. Yes, he still gets his 14.7% on those properties, but he's not collecting the bonus on all those properties.
Yeah, so in fact, he actually, wait. So really, by owning that many ultra rares, what's the markup? What's the multiplier? 2 point something.
No, Greektown's not an ultra rare.
Oh, Greektown. Well, what's the multiplier on it?
Yeah, you got me. I'll find it. Keep
So
going with your thought.
In theory, if he owns all those, he's actually reduced the amount of inflation, because you can only put 3 in, which means that he's prevented 10 other collections potentially from being completed and collecting bonus UPX. So he's preventing other rich people from becoming richer. He's almost like a rich Robin Hood. He's stealing from the rich to give to no one.
Greektown is a rare at 2.66 bonus.
2.66 bonus?
Yeah.
Boy. See, now if I'm Abdullah, I'm trying to figure out how do you rent those out to other people? Because I might reach out to him and be like, all right, Abdullah, let me rent these from you because whatever the difference is between the base and the 2.66, right? Hey, you give them to me, I'll put them in the collection, and then we'll split the bonus, the difference. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So Abdullah, if you're listening, Abdullah, if you're listening, call me on this Genesis property. But second to that, but again, I don't think that's just not what he does. He wanted it because that's a power move. You're dropping another 250 grand into the game,
so for the
in a
people
down market, because he ain't even crypto rich. It ain't, because the crypto market is plummeted.
Yeah, he's more than just crypto rich.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think he's crypto necessarily. I mean, I'm sure he does crypto, but I know that he has other sources of money as well.
Yeah. Now he did cross the 2 billion UPX mark, 2.25 billion net worth.
That's bonkers.
Yes.
That's so insane.
So he didn't take long to go from 1 billion to 2 billion.
Yeah, he definitely skews all the numbers of I think we had a thing of where will the number one be for our upcoming 2-year anniversary, and no way either one of us were probably in the 2.2 billion range.
I was high at 750,000.
Right. Oh my god.
Or 750 million. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, you told me I was crazy.
I mean, I still think you're crazy. But...
Well, that's okay. Yeah.
All right, what else we got?
All right. So the MetaVentures updates. So now you can go into the store and be a sub merchant. You can put your NFT, you can put your legits up for sale or your block explorers up for sale. You put in,
Have you
put
done
it
this?
in
I saw this. Have you done this?
I have not because I don't want to sell anything yet.
So how do I do it? I just go in.
Yeah, you just go to list my NFT, and what you got to go to, you have to have your block explorer at the physical shop. So you want to list your NFT.
I have to be at the physical shop. Oh.
Yep. And then you can sell for UPX or US dollars. And but you have to verify your identity in order to list any items. So, for the people that don't want their identity, you do have to verify your identity.
So how does that work from the shop owners? Because I know that there's like limited slots and stuff.
So the shop owners have the ability to accept or reject it. And if they accept it, it goes on sale.
Okay, so it's not automatic. So that you
Right.
have to like submit it to say, hey, I want to sell this. And then can they like take it out of their shop at any time?
So there will be a period which is adjustable by the merchant, and it has a maximum of up to 7 days, but there's a period where the merchant and the seller can't delist it. So
okay, so there's like a minimum, like you have to leave it. You can't just like put it up there for a minute.
Right.
Okay.
And the owner will be notified of the request with the option to approve or deny it. And if the owner approves it, it will go on sale in the storefront, and they will automatically be paid their commission rate. And that can be set at each MetaVenture settings menu, so they can set their own rate of what they're going to charge their sub merchants. So,
what were the percentage? What's the percentage range? Do you know?
I do not know. I do not have I don't have one, so we'll have to reach out to our friends and find out that do have businesses.
Yeah. So is it like consignment? Yeah, it sounds like it is like consignment, which is always what they were they wanted to do. They just didn't have the functionality, I guess, ready. So that's awesome. That's going to be, I got to be interested to hear from some of the other MetaVenture owners.
Yeah. So excited for that.
And is that responding to this 266? Maybe not.
No, that's not. That was before.
That was to the collection. Never mind.
Yeah, excited for the MetaVentures submergence. So we'll be watching how that rolls here pretty soon.
Yeah, check that out.
And then we have raising the NFT to US dollar cap.
Yeah, this is interesting. I'm trying to pull up. I did an article for the Metaverse Street Journal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll post it. So I got interviewed about this. The Metaverse Street Journal did a thing on it.
So basically, you can list a property for $100,000 $100,000, which is nice.
So hopefully that comes in as a link.
Yeah, it did.
Okay. Yeah. So, what are you selling anything for 100,000?
I haven't had a chance to actually go through and list some properties. I got to evaluate a couple of them and see if they're there. I do have that landmark at San Francisco. I might see if anybody wants that. That's
true. That's a good one, though.
Yeah, it is.
So, I mean, I got a landmark in San Francisco too. I think it's one of the least exciting landmarks. It's like essentially a bar that, I mean, it's got a fun history. So it's a bar that survived the Great Fire. And the way that it survived the Great Fire is they rolled out kegs to the firefighters to have the firefighters protect their pub during the Great Fire. And so they bribed the firemen to make sure that their pub was protected. And so it survived. It was one of the few buildings that survived the Great Fire because of that, which I thought was super cool.
Nice. There are 12 properties in San Francisco already listed for $100,000.
Yeah, but like I feel like, everybody wants to do that because it's just like, oh, well, maybe I'll sell one.
Yeah, Manhattan has 13. I mean, now the ones that are listed for that, though, Skyline Manhattans, Wall Street, so they are legit. They're just not some. There are some like random. Somebody did put just a random New Yorker boost property up for $100,000, wishful thinking. But you do have other people that do have, the rares and the ultra rare collections in there.
Gotcha.
Yep. So, and then Spark Week is live.
Yeah, I'm working on it. My goal is to hit CE during Spark Week, get the bonus Spark, and get the brunch in at Genesis Week. So that's my goal this weekend, is to work my butt off to get to CE. I'm just over 90 million now, so I got. Nice. I'm finally less than 10 million. So I'm in the final stretch, and so probably make some sales, do some things, and make that happen.
Got your sparked up treasure tiers going on. Spark sale starts tomorrow.
You register?
No.
What?
I don't have some free cash right now. We got
That's
all kinds of fun stuff going on, and I got kids. I haven't bought any dogs lately, so that's not where the money went.
Okay.
So I knew that's where you're going.
Although we love the dogs.
Yes.
Shout out to Players Lounge.
So, and then the status up Spark rewards. So always a great time to hit that next level.
Yep.
And then we have another landmark for sale. This is the Starlight Theater in Kansas City. And this one you have to register and you get in line and you're able to purchase it. And it will be for $9,200 US. Last landmark, somebody said they made it all the way down to number 21 before it was sold.
Really? All right. So if you're in the top 15, keep an eye out.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how far this falls, and
So here's my recommendation to the listeners out there, and anyone who wants to go ahead. Like, I would say, if you've got 10 people, if you got 10 buddies and you all registered, and then you said, okay, if any one of us win it, we're all going to commit $920, right? So it's a 10-way ownership. And because I think, and now again, not financial advice, so whatever, that you could sell it for 20,000 USD. I think so. I think like Abdullah or somebody might buy this for 15 to 20. How much are the last landmarks gone for?
The last landmarks
this is super cool.
Have gone for 15.7 million in a reverse auction, $66,300. I'm missing the Bradbury building. I got to catch up on that. 28.6 million, 12.8 million, 10.12, 28.6 million.
Okay. So you could probably maybe not 20 then based on that, but 15, 16, and then so you each get, $1,500 less 150, say less 200 from, fees. So you could turn your $900 into $1,300.
Yeah.
And
then you get the tax man.
Like, again, if you're gonna gamble, like as a three, I know we're going in like threesies. Like, yeah, I'll roll $3,000 on it. I'm not gonna put $9,000 personally, but I'll go in with a bunch of people and put in the hopes that we can get something out of it.
Yep.
But
I'm in on that.
Yeah. Wait, when did that? Oh, that would hit. I would hit CE.
Yeah.
Oh, now I definitely want to.
Or wait, do US dollars count?
Oh.
Yeah, you'll hit CE. Yeah, you're fine.
They better. They better count.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we did did a quick and short version of the rest of the episode, but all in
Well
all,
worth it though. Thank you again, Russell. That was so insightful. Like, it's so interesting, and again, I'm really excited to have the roundtable, get a bunch of these great minds together, and just have them be able to talk to each other and get that going. So,
yeah, we need to pick a date here. I'd like to do it before Genesis Week.
Yeah, for sure.
Get that set up. I do have a couple names that are interested too. I'll see now, since we have topics, if they still want to come in on that, and we'll make sure we have the right match of people in their Upland journey.
Yep. So again, topics. If you're interested in joining the panel, reach out to us. I'll try to. We won't probably have more than 10 people because I don't want it to be too chaotic. But we'll have a mix of veterans and new players. And the two topics for this roundtable will be Block Explorer pricing. So we're going to go through different Block Explorers that are commonly traded, see what people think their values are. Talk about how do you value Block Explorers? Where do you maybe go to find market prices? Are you using the store, Discord, Facebook, etc.? And then the second topic, based on just the recent interest of it, is treasure hunting. So we'll have hopefully some of the top treasure hunters, maybe some new treasure hunters, different city strategies, etc. Just to kind of get a cross section of the community there. So should be really exciting.
Absolutely. And if you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, get notified when we do go live. Follow us on Twitter. And you have anything before we get out of here this week? Thank me later.
Nope.
All right. Till then, everybody have fun. Happy hunting on Spark Week. And anybody that wants to level up, great week to do it. Talk to everyone next week.
It's the UPX Podcast, baby. Glad you tuned in. Got your host, Thank Me Later, and Too Stupid to Win. Might be coming up. Session as soon as you begin. Start out king of the street, then lock in iconic in. Welcome to Upland. Grab your UPX, man. On your way, and the dough hit you with $4,000. Get to buying and gripping, then to selling and flipping. Over to moving and shucking. I'm Scrooge McDucking in UPX.